Welcome, managers. Welcome to Managing Humans. This week, I want to start off talking about what a manager role is and how we communicate with our teams. There are so many functions that we call management, it can get confusing about which one we're talking about. The one I want to focus on is obviously what we call people management these days. Now, I want to differentiate people managers and people management. People managers have a job that usually requires a couple of things: hiring and firing, which I'm going to talk about in another video, supervision or oversight of other employees, usually involving some kind of review or evaluation process, giving them their daily tasks to take care of, job designation, and then disciplinary action when it's needed. You're also responsible for distribution of information from higher levels of the organization and other parts of the company. And as all job descriptions add at the end, the dreaded other duties as assigned. So we'll let you dream about what that means in most companies. People management can be really any role that requires you to influence the actions of another human being. So this can be a project manager, this can be product management, program management, process management, being a lead, being a supervisor, and most any other job title that you can imagine. Uh, this includes managing internal and external people too, which adds a lot of complexity. Sometimes the hardest part of management we do is with partners, vendors, or other stakeholders that we're working with, but they don't actually work for our company. So there's a lot of things that are for these two functions that they have in common, and even more that they have that are different. Uh, I'll try to call out which one of them I'm talking about if we're going to discuss the differences in different topics. So today I really wanted to start off the videos with talking about communicating with your teams. So when we are taking that information from higher levels of the company or from different parts of the organization and distributing it to our teams, we really want to look at how we're doing that. And I'm going to use an example from previous employment. And some of you may recognize these types of scenarios in your own experience. So, uh, some of the best managers that I've worked for have taught me a valuable lesson. And I'll say that is be an open book, but be careful what pages you read aloud from. And what I mean by this is always want my team to know what's going on. I want them to understand what's happening in the company with our team in processes, what's driving their actions, the things that I'm asking of them, and to understand how their actions are affecting the company, the organization that we're working in, and the people around them. So, having these open and honest conversations with your employees builds trust in you as the manager and just for your organization. It shows that they can be trusted, and it shows that you don't have anything to hide. It also shows employees that you're a conduit for information from the company and also a method to provide feedback. So, this is going to be really important as we get more into the job and we have employees at different levels with different levels of experience, and we want them to give us feedback so that we're able to optimize our processes and how we do things. So, being an open book doesn't mean you should tell your employees everything you know all the time, every day. And even more importantly, you need to shape and contextualize the information that you're going to share with them. So, I'll use an example. Back when I used to work on project based work all over the country, I had a project manager years ago that would routinely call me into his office and yell at me and tell me how bad my team was at nearly everything that they were hired to do. So it was really encouraging. We were behind schedule, over budget, had a bad attitude, and didn't dress very nice. So he was a real joy to work with. Uh, Now, I realized I needed to convey the information that was provided to me by the project manager, but I knew if I came into a team meeting with both guns blazing after this interaction, I wasn't going to get anywhere. I calmly took a walk in the parking lot and picked through the facts of what the project manager had told me, and I realized we did have a schedule to meet. We had a budget we had to take care of. We also wanted to make sure that we were representative to our client of the best of what this project was about. And we didn't want to be the cause for any problems. So uh, I didn't want to let what the project manager, I didn't want to let the project manager's bad attitude lead to the team's work looking bad for the client. So after that, I went to the team meeting, and I let everyone know where we were with the schedule and the budget calmly. I didn't lay blame or call out anybody for one issue or another. I just told them where the team was, where we were in the schedule, how far over the budget we were, and I asked, you know, I asked the team why we weren't hitting the milestones that we had set previously. And it really came down to, after all of the input from the team, it was availability of our subject matter experts. So these were the folks who were actually building the thing that we were writing our documentation about, and we needed to get information from them. So we needed to ask questions and have time to get more information from them. And we realized that we were all doing it different ways, different times. We were ad hoc, literally running around a building to try to find the right people when we were looking for information. And we realized we needed to have a concise way to bring all of our questions together, have a daily stand up to go through all of the requests with all of the subject matter experts, so that they knew what they needed to give us. We knew who all was involved in the process and who was going to be able to answer these questions and do it in a timely manner. So we had a plan. We worked to achieve the plan, and most importantly, the entire team felt buy-in to this new process because they'd all been part of shaping it. So next, we discussed why we were over budget, and we realized that we had a ton of travel that was going on because we ended up having to go to multiple sites around the country to work with different subject matter experts. This was before Zoom was everywhere. That's because I'm old and we used to write things down. So we realized we had to figure out how we were going to cut back our travel budget so that we could stay within our budget for the whole project. And we realized that we were getting to the point where we were going to have some time available where we were going to have some solo work opportunities, which means, you're going to sit at a desk, you're going to do some writing, you're going to create some simulations, you're going to do things to create the documentation and the materials that were going to go into the training. And we didn't need any more subject matter experts. So we realized we could do some things to kind of tweak schedules and really bring our travel budget down. So we already checked off two. Now we just had to discuss keeping a smile on our face when we're talking with a client. And we realized that, this was something we were doing it without even realizing it. That because we were having these tense interactions with our project manager and we were getting beat up at staff meetings because things were behind schedule, we had to, change the way we were thinking and really focus on having a good interaction with our clients. Because when it came down to it, this team really wanted this project to be successful. And we really liked the clients. We had great interactions with them. And it was more that they could just sense the stress in our work that was happening because of some of the team things. And we just needed to put that stuff behind us when we were going to focus on doing this work with the clients. So when we were having meetings, we really tried to restructure how we did it and really focus on what we were doing. So we got all of three of those parts really fixed, and most importantly, we had team buy-in to focus on those things. And at subsequent team meetings, we would talk about how close we were getting to getting back on schedule, how well we were doing with getting back on budget, and we would have these conversations with the client representatives and make sure that they were happy, they were positive in what we were doing, and we really had an opportunity to reshape that relationship. So we did come into a place where we were able to get back on schedule, meet our deadlines, hit all of our budget targets, and we left with a really good relationship with a client. It was so good that some of our team members actually got hired by the client, but that's what happens on projects sometimes. So, from a people manager point of view here, sometimes we have to sometimes as a people manager or in the role of people management, you have to be the breakwater for the crap rolling downhill from upper management. And you have to absorb the hit, and you've got to filter out the actual useful information and share that part with your team. Make sure that you're giving them what they need and not too much of the other stuff. That's your job to take on. So remember, be an open book, but be careful what pages you read aloud from. So thanks for watching. Subscribe on YouTube to get the new videos. This week, I'm going to talk about hiring and firing. We're going to hopefully schedule or get the first podcast up. So have a good day, managers.